Hello and welcome, Marvelites, back to another episode of the MCU Exchange. We're happy we had a little break last week, but we're back with full force with some interesting news and tidbits. I'll be your host for this week, Joe, and with me is Charles.
What's up?
And we're excited to jump in. Sadly, Aaron is not with us again. We're going to coerce him to get back in here. But let's jump into the biggest, I think, drop of the week. Spider-Man No Way Home. People have been fighting for that trailer. There have been theories everywhere. Oh, it'll drop this date. It'll drop on Tom Holland's birthday. It'll drop a week later. Well, it didn't drop, but we did get our first look at the brand new Funko Pops and Legends toys for the upcoming film, which reveal 3 different iconic suits. The upgraded suit, which seems to be a updated version of his Far From Home black and red suits. We see an integrated suit, which is a combination of the black and red with the Iron Spider suit. And lastly, a black and gold suit. What did you think when you saw the suits?
I like the integrated suit. A lot of people are fucking losing their shit over, Spider-Man having multiple costumes as if the character, as if the character's never had multiple costumes. I think more than any other fucking character in the Marvel universe, or even maybe comics, I feel like Spider-Man has the most costume variations from all of them, from games, Easter eggs and whatnot, one issue special costumes he's had. Spider-Man definitely has the most costumes here, so it's not surprising that with each movie we're getting a new one. And I kind of dig the integrated suit. I like how it's like a mix of the basic his baseline suit, and then a bit of that Iron Spider sort of big gold motif on him, and yeah, it looks pretty cool. I also like the black and gold suit. I like how in the black and gold suit he has red fingers. I think that's a very fucking nice detail to it, and I don't overthink much about these costumes because I feel like they're the least important aspect of the whole thing, the whole movie, and I'm just excited to see what these suits do and how they look on screen, and I'm not mad at all as like some other people are.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not mad. To be honest, we had 3 suits. Actually, we had 4 suits in the last film. If you think about it, we had the Night Monkey suit. We had his. We saw the Iron Spider. We had his classic suit for like a few scenes, and then we had the red black suit that he made himself. So it's not like this is the first film to go through a variety of suits. And I also like the integrated suit a lot. The integration of that Iron Spider symbol on the black and white. I'm curious about how that comes together. Like, it seems like he's combining these suits into one. I'm also curious if the black and gold suit is just a different color variant of the base suit.
Yeah.
If he has like that iron mesh from the Iron Spider suit.
Yeah.
I'm really curious. There's some interesting details. The integrated suit has him. The Funko Pop seems to be showing him using magic.
Yeah, I saw that. That's very interesting because I didn't actually realize that now that the time stone is gone from, at least from the mainline reality, the sacred timeline, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I am curious what the Eye of Agamotto does. If is it just like like a container, or is there something to it? Because there was early Infinity War concept art of Doctor Strange wearing the Iron Man suit. And the Iron Man suit clearly adjusts to the magic relic Strange has on his body. So I am curious if it's gonna be, if this Spider-Man costume is gonna be like, does he wear it while he has the Eye of Agamotto on his chest? Because it's pretty fucking interesting as to why the Funko Pop has a bit of magic there.
Yeah, and it's not uncommon for Spider-Man to have some dabbling in magic-based stuff. I mean, the whole Spider-Verse aspect is always this mythical thing built around him. I already saw people thinking, oh, it's Doctor Strange in the spider suit, which would be very odd.
Yeah.
Though I love the Doctor Strange Funko Pop with a shovel and boots and just regular clothing, but he has his cloak on. I really can't wait to see what that's all about.
Yeah, if Doctor Strange is just like in casual wear the whole time, I would fucking love it. Just to give it a bit of flavor, he's in his like classic official costume in his other appearances. I would
Mm,
like him to switch it up in other appearances. Make him, a casual Friday. Make him go on
yeah,
casual Friday with a
it,
fucking shovel.
it reminds me of the hoodie he was wearing before Bruce crashed through their window in
Right,
Infinity War, where it's just like also he's not gonna run around like a wizard everywhere. Like, what's the point?
right. Do you think because he's wearing casual, or do you think him crossing paths with Peter, do you think it's just like some random chance thing where, oh my God, you're here, help me out, or because you
I
think that like you said, he's in Infinity War, he's just like wearing jeans before the whole thing goes to shit. So clearly he's not in his wizard outfit the whole time. Do you think that's what's gonna happen?
Yeah, I think they're gonna stumble into each other, and because
Mm,
the thing is, we don't have any evidence that Peter knows about the Sanctum Sanctorum. He just met Strange. That's all he did. So
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of he's fleeing or whatnot and just kind of randomly ends up at his location, or they both are in the same place. Because a
yeah.
Lego set leaks that Wong's in the film, which we haven't heard about. So it seems likely he lands there. The whole film's a mess. It's still so hard to figure out what exactly the film's going to do to put that story together.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But
It's great.
yeah, it looks great. We always get some new suits, and I think that's just kind of a tradition at this point, as you said, with Spider-Man. And it's going to be exciting to see if that trailer drops soon. After all, the Funkos are set to release in August, but who knows? It's all based on Sony's strategy. Marvel owns the toy rights, so they probably just got the toys out before they leaked. Who knows what's going on anymore at this point? But it's going to be certainly exciting.
Yeah.
Uh, Speaking of quasi leaks, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever has a lot of weight on it, considering the tragedy has happened and the uncertainty of where are they going? Are they going to adapt the film, or how will they adapt it? But Kevin Feige did reveal that they've already started production, probably I think last week or a week ago. And just as that was announced, Production Weekly, Disney Insider actually found this first. They revealed some details regarding the film, which we have to still take with a grain of salt. It could be just a general summation of it, but the gist of it is that pretty much Wakanda and Atlantis are both kind of these secluded countries. But while Wakanda has been opening up, Atlantis is still fearing infiltration from the outside, hinting at something that has happened some time ago. And there is a big vibranium connection that states that Namor's father went to Antarctica to find vibranium. So maybe that's the catalyst of, because there's also teasing a big war between the countries. Maybe that's the catalyst of it. Perhaps I kind of have the theory that maybe Namor and the Atlanteans, or whatever they're going to be called, use vibranium to keep themselves underwater, keep the city a secret, and they kind of have to infiltrate Wakanda to get some, and that just sparks a war.
Mm.
What are your thoughts on this in general?
Um, it is very it's very in line with what you'd expect for Atlantis versus a Wakanda beef.
Yeah.
Um, it's not like some crazy thing where, oh my God, why are they fighting over that? It's very in line with what you'd imagine. I am curious with what you said though, because yeah, I am curious what other cultures think of vibranium, or if maybe they've managed to acquire some, because we know that the Great Mound, um, was born from Africa, and some people tried to get it. I am curious if other civilizations managed to get their hands on maybe vibranium,
Mm.
and what if there's another Great Mound somewhere else that's not in Wakanda? What if it's like underwater, prehistoric time, something crashed underwater, and then the Atlanteans found it? What if there's that thing there? Obviously, it would sort of break or shatter one's understanding of vibranium, because vibranium is a sacred metal in Wakanda. What is
Yeah.
Wakanda gonna feel like now that, oh shit, we're not the only ones who has this? some other people have this. We're not so special after all. I wonder if that sort of arc is gonna happen, but it's pretty exciting so far. It's not something that worries me at all. And I hope that
Mm.
some of these some of the synopsis ends up being true.
I think it would be a great personal story as well. The question is, how are they going to tie it together, especially with the passing of the torch of T'Challa?
Yeah.
I wonder if, because vibranium is a metal from space that crashed in a meteorite, what if it also is the cause of how Atlantis sunk? Like that
Mm,
would be an interesting way to connect it. Um, it's really curious. Like the thing that takes you away is also the thing that keeps you alive, but we don't know quite how they're going to explain away that Atlanteans even exist, that these people have evolved to breathe underwater. There's going to be comparisons to Aquaman. I'm really curious what direction they're taking. I think the potential of them being Mayan inspired is already a big step in, first of all, diversity and also adding like a unique flair to it.
yeah.
It's going to be really curious. But that's kind of all the info we really have for now, and it's going to be interesting to see what else comes of it. If we get, surprisingly, if they started production, we haven't had any real casting news. We don't know exactly who is returning. The Production Weekly does state that pretty much most of the actors from last film are set to return. With Letita, I always hope I don't say the name wrong. Letita Wright, I think, is playing Shuri. Letitia, sorry. She's getting top billing. So there's also a lot of hint that she is the one to take on the Black Panther mantle.
Yeah, I think at this point Shuri is like the safest bet. It's not my
Yeah.
favorite choice, but with the cards they've been dealt, it's like, might as well do what the comics does.
Yeah, it seems the safest direction. I still personally would love for M'Baku to take it, especially after the events from the first film.
Mhm.
Or hey, who knows? At the end of the film, everyone has a Black Panther suit. It
I,
is
I'm
Wakanda forever.
I'm all for Okoye becoming the Black Panther
Ooh,
more than
yeah.
Shuri.
Especially with her getting that Disney Plus series.
Yeah.
Like that
Plus,
seems like a perfect way to connect it.
like in a fight, I feel like I'd rather fight Shuri than fucking Okoye because Okoye is gonna murder me.
Yeah.
Okoye is gonna destroy me. And with Shuri, I kind of like, maybe I have a chance. Maybe I can dodge her. Her laser blasts. But
Uh,
Okoye, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get fucking murdered. And
That's
you
so
want that
true.
you want that intensity with whoever's carrying that Black Panther with that sort of gravitas. So that's why I've always leaned towards Okoye rather than
Mm,
Shuri, at least within the MCU's confines, because in the comics, Shuri is kind of like Okoye. Especially
yeah.
when Shuri becomes the Black Panther, she is fucking ruthless. She's almost like not evil, but definitely someone you don't want to mess with. And right now, that is Okoye for me. So I'm still on that Okoye should be Black Panther bandwagon.
I'm curious if we're gonna get the announcements ahead of the film of what they're going to do with that.
Hmm.
That I'm very, very curious about.
Yeah.
But I do think for now they're gonna keep it a secret as long as possible, and we might only find out once the trailer drops.
Isn't there a Comic Con this year, like a virtual thing?
There is a virtual one. I'm not sure if Marvel Studios is attending though. I haven't heard anything about that yet.
Yeah, they don't need to anyway. They can do their fucking what do you call that? Their investors shit.
Yeah, I do think that they're shifting to the Investors Day being the big announcement day. Um, Last year was a big success for them. They announced a lot. Though it's weird to think when the last Investors Day was, we got the trailer for WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and freaking Loki, and now we're almost done with Loki and we have no trailers for the next Disney Plus shows.
Yeah.
So I don't either they're saving something up for the summer or hopefully we get the what if trailer once Loki ends, and that just might be connected.
Yeah.
Speaking of Disney Plus shows, though, there was an interesting, could be something, could be absolutely nothing. WandaVision's post-credit sequence from the final episode was tweaked quite a bit. Anyone watching the shot will notice that there's a lot more trees. It seems that they kind of adapted the environment. A lot of people still believe it's Wunderburg. Wunderberg. a classic location from Wanda's past in the comics, but it's certainly they adapted it. And there was even a lot of rumors about a shadow potentially being Doctor Strange or Chthon or Shumagorath leaning closer towards Wanda, which turned out to be actually an editing error that they took out some lighting and it just stuck with the
Yeah.
camera shot. But I think the general thing that makes this interesting is that they are adapting footage after it's been released. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think we might see additions or changes on Disney Plus shows in general that they try to adapt it to the films in some way?
It is fucking curious, and yeah, that's been debunked as something that's like it's an editing thing that some guy forgot to rotoscope like a shadow out of the thing. But it is very sneaky for Marvel to edit stuff that's been out without letting us know. I
No.
wonder if they're sort of pulling like a George Lucas thing where he just keeps fucking adding shit um after the fact that it's been out. But yeah, I don't think like, it'd be crazy if they start like altering designs, like character costumes after the release. I hope that doesn't become a thing. I feel like, stick to the thing you put out, even if it's shitty, like the Civil War CGI with Iron Man's floating head during the airport fight. I mean, it looks
Mm,
bad, but just leave it alone because that's the product that came out, and I don't want them sneakily fixing stuff without us knowing. I mean, it's
yeah.
their right, but just for me as a fan, it's like, why are you doing that? Right?
At this point, it's part of the charm. Like Black Panther is a great film, but the CGI fight in the vibranium mines is still a bit janky.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's part of the charm at this point, and it's they learn and stuff. But adapting is a little weird. It's just weird that this specific sequence, it's the trees that have gotten adapted.
yeah.
Okay.
People thought it was like fucking Vision, Ghost Vision.
Vision
Really?
is alive, confirmed. I'm
Yeah,
surprised no one went Coulson lived at this point.
let's not talk about that.
Then let's talk about something else. We have a big trailer drop. So while Spider-Man No Way Home didn't get a trailer, Shang-Chi got a second one. It gave us some more insights into the story, into Shang-Chi's general adventure that is ahead of him, more conflict with his father, which was a very interesting focus. We also got the tease of the 10 rings, including our first look at the dragon that many thought was Fing Fang Foom, but it's just called the Great Protector. And lastly, a very interesting reveal. Abomination versus Wong in a random fighting tournament. What do you think about that?
Well, it's clearly Marvel giving us Mortal Kombat because Mortal Kombat didn't give us the tournament. So
That
this is our,
is,
this
oh, yeah.
is our Mortal Kombat. It's filling the Mortal Kombat void. But yeah, I feel like the trailer is pretty much about Abomination at this point because that's all people are talking about, and I think rightfully so because it is a fucking batshit cameo that they just revealed in the trailer. Um,
Yeah.
it's incredible that he actually looks like the comic version right now. It's incredible that a character like that is appearing here, and I've seen people say that he's probably here because they might want to save money and use the rig and the 3D model they use here for She-Hulk, and
Mm.
it's very very economic and it makes so much sense on every level. But man, just the idea that Abomination is somewhere fucking in a cage fight, superhuman cage fight. That's crazy world building for me, and that excites me. Makes me more excited as to who else shows up. I mean, I don't know why Wong is there, but I'm excited. Just who else they bring here? I wonder if it's just Abomination. Is he gonna be like the only cool character in the whole tournament, or maybe they have like other cool cameos? Who knows? But it's very very exciting.
Imagine if they just randomly dropped the leader in there. Like everyone thought, oh, Abomination, 2008 Hulk finally gets some rep, and then frickin' the leader just shows up out of nowhere.
Imagine if Omega Red shows up.
Ooh,
And
the long.
all those crazy Falcon theorists will be happy.
Him and Wolverine, after being rumored forever to appear in Madripoor, this is where they show up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm generally curious. Like, part of me wished we actually got like a series that's just that tournament or a film, because I feel like everything always focuses on a lot more, but a simple concept like that could be so much fun to play around with.
Yeah.
Um, I still hope maybe they'll add in Iron Fist in that tournament. That seems like a perfect way to kind of throw him into the MCU, if it's Finn Jones or not. But that would be that would blow, I think, a lot of people's minds.
You
And
know,
hmm?
you know what would be crazy if they put Iron Fist and Sabretooth in a fight.
Ooh,
Because
that
Sabretooth's first appearance ever in the comics is not fucking fighting Wolverine, but fighting Iron Fist.
true. That way, get the mutants in, get people hyped.
Yeah, just so a fucking savage dude with fangs, with lots of hair, with a mane, and fighting a guy with chi.
That would be pretty cool.
And then you
Uh
so and it's an amazing callback to the comics.
yeah. Oh, I'm all in for that. I want
Yeah.
Wolverine's introduction to be a fight against Hulk, not gonna lie.
As long as
I,
it's not in a cage fight, because that's what they did with the first X-Men.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting. But overall, I think while everyone's kind of focusing on Abomination, I think the trailer was great. I'm really excited to see this mythological side and this Chinese myth, how they use Chinese myth. I find really interesting, because I was doing some research on why the dragon was underwater, and what I didn't know is that in Chinese myth, dragons are actually known as they control water, like rain or waterfalls, and they reside in water. So they're really dipping their toes into actual mythology there.
Yeah, the dragon looks super fucking cool. I'm still curious if they're gonna refer to it as Fin Fang Foom at one point,
Mm.
even as an Easter egg. But it's pretty badass, and I'm curious what else the dragon does here.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. See how it builds up, and I'm curious what's the future for Shang-Chi as a character. Where's he heading after this? That could be really exciting. But let's see. It's not too long. Finally, next week, Black Widow, and then in September we get Shang-Chi. Time is flying. um, with that, I think it's time to head into the big thing of the week, or the last 2 weeks, because we didn't get a chance to talk about last week's episode. Loki. Some big revelations, a small little character-driven story, right into the big overarching plot. How do you feel about the episodes, Charles? What was like your highlights or your low points for the 2 episodes? I think you're muted.
For the episode, what was it? Episode 3 and 4, right?
Yeah.
Am I missing? Yeah. For episode 3, I'm really digging. I dug the fact that we got some character stuff. I did not like how the episode wrapped up.
Hmm.
I mean, obviously now it's not as bad seeing what happens after, but when episode 3 came out, I was kind of like, I feel like it could have been wrapped up better. But the character stuff is great. It informs sort of the big thing here, where in episode 4, where Loki and Sylvie might have a thing going on. But yeah, I think ultimately episode 4 is where they drop so much bombs. You so much fucking reveals, so much shit happens. Mobius gets pruned, Loki gets pruned, but clearly there's someplace else. The TVA is fake. We've sort of got a sense of that in the first 2 episodes, but now it's like a big confirmation. Ravonna's like super evil, and I feel like episode 4 really made up for the fact that episode 3 was so slow. Episode 4 was like where they dumped everything, and I have to watch the whole thing for episode 5 and 6 to tell exactly how to get a good sense of how good the spacing for the season is. But yeah, it's been a strong run so far, even with my gripes with episode 3.
I personally really liked. I kind of call it a calm before a storm. Like the third episode, yes. I mean, many people call it a filler episode. I mean, for that, it might be the most expensive one, as you said. It's just the most expensive filler episode ever produced. The problem with the Marvel shows is that they always say it's going to be 6 episodes. So anytime a slowdown happens, there's always this fear of, oh, are we not going to get more? Is this just going to be slower now? But the connection they try to build up with Sylvie and Loki is really interesting. And like I think many were like on the fence about it being a romantic interest, but kind of outright confirmed that with episode 4. It's such an interesting thing to tackle, especially if I was rewatching an earlier episode. I didn't even realize there's literally the line, "If you come to love yourself," in it, and that's kind of like the concept is that Loki just took it a little too literal.
Yeah.
But I think Lamentus, what I liked about Lamentus is while it was a bit more stuck on that planet, the ending, I think, I agree, was a bit like, okay, they're trying to get a chance, try to get out. Then it kind of ended. But I see why they ended it there, because the opening of this episode actually plays an integral part to pretty much the build up for the final 2 episodes, as well as how they got found. And that's kind of an interesting concept to play around with. And I think if they gave that away in the last episode, it wouldn't be as intriguing, because it's kind of the focus of this mystery. Why?
I feel like though you could have ended the last episode with them holding hands and then the timeline breaking. I feel like that's the oh my god, what the fuck is happening? Why are they breaking the apocalypse sort of law, the natural law of the apocalypse? Why are they sort of what's happening? Why is them holding hands sort of breaking the fucking universe? And I feel like you could have ended with that, and then they get captured by the TVA, and then the episode ends, and then open the next episode. You could sort of even splice together Sylvie being brought in, and then young Sylvie getting captured. You could do like that sort of thing. But again, it's just nitpicks. It's not like it's not it's not a bane for the episode that they went that route, but it's like a nitpick I have here. But
Yeah.
it works for the most part, I think.
Yeah, it definitely comes together. The reveal of her being taken away as a child is really interesting as well, because that's an interesting thing in the beginning of the episode. Because the one thing that confused me about this, and it started to kind of stackpile with the whole variant concept, is we see like these different variants taking completely new forms. But at first we always thought it was about keeping that timeline safe. Yet the more you think about it, how did like a Loki turn into a Hulk? And they only got him before he turned, because there's no event that would lead to that.
Right.
And the same was with Sylvie. Like you would think that if she was born a girl, that they would have like caught her when she was a baby, because that would have been the Nexus events. So I kind of get the feeling that we're going to learn a bit more about what Nexus events truly are, because I think it's there's a big lie at the end of this episode. Like Wizard of Oz, the big reveal that the timekeepers are actually androids, which I have to say I couldn't understand anything they said. I had to put up subtitles when they were talking.
Yeah, I've heard a bunch of people say that they couldn't understand jack shit.
The guy, the one with the mustache is just like rah, rah, rah. I was like, what the fuck did he say?
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say though, that sequence, the music, the visuals of the timekeepers, that was amazing. That was like really, really well done. And I love the fact that if you look to the sides, you saw like these endless staircases building on that classic painting of, endless time and endless possibility. But the voices, like even though I couldn't understand them, the voices were perfect. They had like this ominous atmosphere. What did get me is the creepy ass laugh after the mid one was decapitated, and then just
Yeah,
deactivating.
I wonder where their control panel is.
Yeah.
If it's someplace across the universe, or is someone like manipulating them, like maybe I don't know, not telepathically, but I don't know, like magically. It's very interesting as to how that scene plays out, and it's very, very theatrical. And like you said, I like the fucking laugh they do because they don't give a fuck.
Yeah. It's almost like part of them knew if anyone would figure it out, it would be a Loki. Because the thing that's interesting is that like the Loki and TVA dynamic is that they're complete opposites. Loki's were born for chaos, while TVA was born for order, and that's just kind of this interesting dynamic they're playing on. But
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see what happens. So the wait for the next episode is too long. I
Yeah,
just
it's gonna be fucking new, especially how the episode ends. You
yeah.
got all the fucking alternate Lokis there. It kind of seems like that scene in the trailer where the vote Loki scene is playing out. It looks like everyone's a Loki there. That's what I'm gonna assume there um because the black dude with the hammer is clearly a Loki and he's there also with them. So I wonder if all those people in that scene in the trailer are Lokis. But I think it's safe to assume that next episode, the penultimate one, is gonna be batshit crazy.
Yeah. Like that makes me like question one thing. It's like why is it all Lokis in this one location?
Yeah.
Because that's kind of weird, like the vote Loki with all these different Loki variants. Because that was the one thing, because some people noticed that the bearded guy from the first showcase of different Lokis was in that sequence, but it's obviously not Tom Hiddleston playing the character. But
Yeah.
the rule that was set is that every Loki has to kind of look like Tom Hiddleston,
Yeah.
because that it does like it's so much like the moment you find out that something's not right. And I wasted way too many times trying to make everything work within the sacred timeline theory. I feel like at the end we're just going to find out that there is an actual multiverse,
Yeah.
but this specific timeline is something that whoever is like the mastermind, if it be Kang or whatnot, is trying to keep active in a certain way.
I think at this point it's a very safe thing to assume that everything is bullshit. Maybe
Yeah.
that maybe there is no such thing as a Nexus event. Maybe that's why. Maybe they just fucking arrested Sylvie just because and pretended, oh, because you're a variant. You're a next. You started a Nexus event. I don't think there is. Um, it's just all bullshit, just to sort of justify what the TVA is doing.
Yeah. And I think we're going to find out in the next episode what's that all about. I think we're going to kind of switch between wherever Loki is and Sylvie interrogating Ravonna. I hope. I really think they shouldn't wait with the final episode for that, because the final episode should build on that grand twist, in my opinion.
Yeah, so fucking give us episode 5 now.
Yeah, just release it. Interesting. One thing I did read, and I found that quite interesting, that people said the reason why they plucked Sylvie was because she was becoming a hero and not a villain, because she was playing with Valkyrie toys.
Ooh, interesting.
That like, so the Nexus event is, it doesn't matter now what they look like, even though that was the established rule. It's just that they do the things they're meant to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, and of course, people had the theories like, oh, the Natalie Portman Thor is from where Sylvie is because it's just a gender swap version timeline. It's like, huh?
Nah, I don't think they. I don't think they'd go that far.
No, I doubt it. I think it would downplay her role as a character if they
Yeah.
don't build on the existing one. It's just I really hope the next episode, because we now have Richard E. Grant as classic Loki in really bad cosplay.
Yeah.
We have the boastful Loki who has a Thor inspired hammer,
Mm-hmm.
Kid Loki, and Crocodile Loki. So Crocodile
Crocodile
Loki, huh?
Crocodile Loki is like the best part.
Oh my god. I love that addition. I love someone said we have to have like the weirdest one in there, and I so hope it confirms that we're going to get Throg in some capacity.
Oh yeah, the fact that Michael Waldron decided to put a fucking crocodile there is like super fucking Rick and Morty shit.
It so is. And I really hope, like, I'm curious, does he talk? Like, does he talk normally, or does he just, I want to know what happens?
Yeah.
I'm curious though, like, there's already theories that the classic Loki we get introduced, because it is strong, it seems to be inspired by Loki, Agent of Asgard, that he's like the mastermind of it all. But then it kind of opens up the question, why is he there on this strange pruning land, whatever it is?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I'm also curious if they're going to do something with Kid Loki moving forward, because he is a very famous member of the Young Avengers in the comics.
Yeah. I mean, who did they cast? Is he like an actor or just like an extra?
He's not well known from what I've seen.
Hmm.
So I didn't see anyone like me. Oh, finally him. I haven't seen many roles that he's done. So either it's like with they just see a lot of potential in him, or like the thing is, do we really need Kid Loki in the Young Avengers? To be fair, what does that character add at this point that really switches it up?
Well, it's a tall order for the kid because we have this idea of Loki, who is Tom Hiddleston, who is a Shakespearean actor.
Yeah.
If this kid is anything less or anything not like that, or maybe even like if whatever the kid brings doesn't work, they're fucked.
Yeah.
So I mean, if they're doing it, I hope they find a way to make it good at least.
Definitely. I think next episode will give us that clear answer on, can this kid be a Loki? But we're gonna get so many potentially. Who knows?
Yeah.
I have one question for you. This is something that's been bothering me. Do you think Vote Loki is a variant, or is it the same Endgame Loki we've been following?
I think it's him.
What is your money on?
I think it's him.
Yeah.
He hatches up a scheme maybe there. Maybe the whole episode is just them trying to fucking voting to see who leads the fight against the TVA. You know, just some crazy shit where all the Lokis convene for an election as to who becomes their Loki leader. You know, some crazy thing like that. It's very fun to think about.
Yeah. I think the one he's saying, "What did you expect?" to is Mobius.
Ooh.
Because there was a leaked sequence of Mobius driving a car where he was like in a similar area, whatever this limbo land is, and you saw
Yeah.
like, and I think he's looking for Loki, and that's like him saying, what did you expect when he shows up? Then that's my theory of it all.
It's oh man, it's so fun. I mean, the episode can't get any faster than it. I want to fucking
Yeah. And yeah, I have to say, like, even though part of me says, "Oh, I want more of this," the build up to it just makes it so strong. The scenes with Mobius, the scenes with Loki and Sylvie were really powerful in this episode, especially like Owen Wilson really played this character well.
Mhm.
So I'm really curious, and I really hope we get more TVA in the future. I love this organization. I'm still pissed off that Shield kind of disappeared extremely early in the MCU's timeline. Still kind of hoping they make a return. We talked about that last time, but I think TVA, Owen Wilson, we need more.
Yeah, he's the best. He's so good.
And I'm still amazed Charles Murphy likes him. Like, I remember for months on end, he says he does not care that he was in it.
He's you fall in love with him to the point where you actually scream when he gets pruned.
Oh man.
You're like, holy
that
shit, is he dead?
that is proof of a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
I have to say, like, anyone who likes this version of Owen Wilson, I highly recommend Midnight in Paris. He's also very much a bit more reserved than that, which is a great performance of his. And I was really hoping we get that here, and we did. So really looking forward to the next few episodes. And hopefully we find out when frickin' What If drops, because, this show's ending in a week and a half.
Oh yeah,
So
they're waiting for the show to end to announce when What If is coming.
yeah, I think there's going to be some tie-ins and maybe some build-up on how that all connects.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah. Any last final thoughts on the episodes, or what's your biggest hype, exciting thing for next week?
I want to see what the other Lokis are. I want to see what that boat Loki scene is. And obviously, I mean, I think at this point there is someone pulling the strings, and Kang is like the most obvious bet. And I can't wait to see how that pans out.
Yeah. Same with me. I kind of hope we get a love parallel. My biggest theory to this time right now is that the sacred timeline is the one to keep Ravonna alive for Kang, because that is like the biggest famous storyline
Oh,
between those two.
yeah.
It would be a nice parallel between Sylvie and Loki, with that love story. So it's gonna be really, really interesting. Yeah, with that, another episode comes to end. It's the saddest part of the week, I tell you. Thank everyone for listening. We cannot wait for the next time. If you want to, listen to more episodes, you can always check them out on your classic podcast location. Is it Spotify, Apple? It's your choice. This is already our 58th episode. We're getting close to that 60, and we cannot wait to have you guys next time. If you want to stay up to date, be sure to check out www.mcuexchange.com to be on top of your favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe news. And you can also follow us. You can follow Charles on Twitter at.
You can follow me at CFS Villanueva.
And you can find me at @thatbell. We can't wait until next time, and let's hope that Loki episode drops soon. Till then.
Bye.